Mueller brings it out to the 29-yard line, and that's where the Raiders put it in play. And Berline from just inside the 30 gives to Bo, and he's knocked down after a yard gain by Simon Fletcher, who is having a Pro Bowl year for the Broncos. Here is Wade Phillips' defensive unit: Alfonso Carricker, Cragen, and Holmes, the front three, with Brooks, Munford, Mecklenburg, and Fletcher, the linebackers. When they get into a pass defense situation, these men come in: Scott Curtis, Kip Corrington, and Mark Haynes, two extra defensive backs to join the back four of Braxton, Henderson. Robbins starts today for Dennis Smith, who is injured, and Steve Atwater, the brilliant rookie from Arkansas. There's the defensive coordinator, Wade Phillips. Second down and 9. Berline buying time, throws incomplete. Through the hands of the tight end, Mike Dial. He was than Shanahan when he was the head man here at the start of the season. Shotgun Berline. And under pressure, he has to throw long, but too long for Mervin Fernandez. Brilliant first half last week in the win over Seattle. In fact, was named AFC Player of the Week. Short kick. Johnson stays away, and rolling out of the way was Wayman Henderson. He has Jariga, Bishop, Karts, rookie Wydell, and Lanier, the offensive line. Bobby Humphrey from Alabama. What a year for the rookie. Jeff Alexander, the big back. Jackson and Johnson, the outside men. Clarence Kay, tight end. Those three men in pass situations. The shotgun go out. Sewell comes in along with Michael Young and Ricky Natile for the four wide receivers. Elway starts just where Berline did, just inside his 30. He's looking for Johnson. Instead goes underneath to the tight end Mobley. Big Orson goes ourselves, Dick. No one's perfect. So on second and short, a big game for Bobby Humphrey, all the way to the 50-yard line for the rookie, and a first down. We'd like to Elway going long. Well covered by Washington, and he intercepts it. Ryan O. Washington has the ball at the 13-yard line with his second interception of the Washington. Steve Smith, the former Penn State star, gets about 5 before Carl Mecklenburg and company can make the tackle. That's Fernandez in motion. Bo Jackson. And he battles his way close to a first. 89 is their future. Even this year. First down on that run by Jackson with a measurement. Berline well protected. Hits Dial. The tight end is all the way to the 49-yard line. To Mecklenburg. And on first down, not much at all for the Raiders as Bo Jackson stuffed by Fletcher. Draw play to Jackson. And he's to the 45 of Denver, where it'll be third down and just a dynamic athlete. He comes out in the shotgun Berline. Wide open. Mervin Fernandez. He breaks tackles, breaks another. First down at the 24. 8:35 remaining, first quarter. Bo Jackson or Steve Smith this time. Smith inside the 20-yard line, a pickup of a Berline into the end zone for Fernandez. Not quite there. Randy Robbins was
lining up a linebacker just to show his enthusiasm for the return of this Raider atmosphere and personality.
Incomplete through the hands of Steve Smith. It should have been. And the Raiders take the early lead on a 37-yard kick by Jager. Midpoint of the first quarter here in sunny Los Angeles, California.
What a difference, Dick, between the first Raider game with Denver and this
day as a player. But he said the players keep saying, tell us more, Coach. Tell us more. Ken Bell back at the 6-yard line. And he's down at the 17-yard line. Good coverage by the Raiders.
Well, Denver will be be tested now.
The Colts 22-16. We're in sunny 80-degree Los Angeles. Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh, the Raiders, on a 37-yard field goal by Jeff Jager, had the lead. John Elway, after the ensuing kickoff, starts from the 17. And Bobby Humphrey looked as if he might get a lot more, but has to settle for 4.
Raider defense is healthy. Jerry Robinson inside. Townsend losing 15 pounds since they played last and in good shape.
Here comes Humphrey again, and the Sterling rookie, who was a #1 pick in the supplemental draft by the Broncos, has a first down out at the 29-yard line. So Humphrey, the leading ball carrier for the Broncos here in the early going.
Jerry Robinson saved a big play. And Jerry thinks this atmosphere is much like Dick Vermeil's atmosphere when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl.
Humphrey again. He started today as the =1 rushing rookie in the AFC and #9 in the entire NFL with 803 yards, but averaging only 3.8. He told us yesterday, as we tried to fight off the glitter of gold of those 5 rings that he was wearing, that he really wants 1,000 yards. That's already been accomplished by the Heisman winner of a year ago, Sanders at Detroit.
You know, as a rookie, though, he's already completed a collegiate season. And he still has a number of games left, including playoffs. Last week in the locker room, he says, man, I can't believe this season. And we still have games to play. The punishment you take.
Humphrey again.
Boom.
The workhorse
punishment.
3rd down and 2, and a whistle. We may have delay of game. Elway shotgun. Oh, what a play by Elway. Gets it to the tight end, and a first down. Oops, the 45. Shovel pass to Humphrey, and Humphrey is into Raider territory with a 6-yard gain on 2nd and 4. Humphrey. Alexander trying to lead the way, but Scott Davis, #7, blitz. And it's Elway to Vance Johnson, breaking 1 tackle, and a first down at the 40-yard line.
Well, we're looking at greatness there, that Elway play.
To their first score, trailing 3-0. Draw play, Alexander, and he has smothered the 232-pound. And Elway and the Broncos have it 2nd and 7 at the Raider 37. It appeared the Raiders were offside. Free play for Elway. Guns it to Johnson, who was hit immediately at the 30. It appears we're not trying to rub it in Pittsburgh, where you've already suffered a tough loss to Houston, 23-16. But it is a glorious football afternoon here in the West. The Raiders battling for a wild card spot against a team that's already clinched their playoff position. The Broncos, and what a hit in the backfield by Howie Long. Florida comes into the lineup for Denver. 2nd and long. Elway guns, complete to Vance Johnson. An acrobatic catch at the Raider 25. Who had a big...
They're great open field runners after the catch.
6 defensive backs for the Raiders. Elway eludes McDaniel and throws toward the sideline, incomplete. Had a man open, yard attempt. It's blocked. And the Raiders maintain their 3-0 lead. So the Raiders maintain their 3-0 lead, and here's Bo Jackson carrying a pile of Broncos for 11 yards.
At least the last 5 yards of that was strictly Bo. He misses a tackle.
6-yard average. That'll work in the Canadian League. Steve Smith for a couple of yards. Fumbled snap, and Burline, who's got it? The Broncos have recovered. It appeared to be Mecklenburg, who's always around the ball. There he is, number 77, Carl Mecklenburg, the 3-time Pro Bowler. As Burline had trouble receiving the snap, and the Broncos get a big exchange.
Well, talking to Art Shell before the game, this is what he didn't want. Naturally, turnovers. Denver wins on turnovers. If you look at Denver's offense, their offense is one of the poorer offenses statistically in the league.
We come back. It's the Broncos at the 33 style end. as John Elway, after the fumble recovery, throws underneath. And inside the 30 goes Melvin Bratton, the former fullback at Miami. Quickly, let's go through the Raiders 3, Denver nothing. 11:50 remaining in the second quarter. Elway throwing, almost intercepted into a crowd. He was good piece of work by Elway to get 15 yards and a first down at the 15. Humphrey tripped up by Long and staggers forward for same level. Elway. Incomplete. Vance Johnson. Short and Russell Carter. Oops. Offside against the Broncos. And it will not be a touchdown as Vance Johnson makes a great catch. But they're going to have third down 13. Incomplete. He had to throw it away. Mark Jackson was well. And we have a new game. So the fumble recovery by Mecklenburg leads to the tying field goal here in Los Angeles. And how long will they remain at the Coliseum? Well, it's quite a testimony of the fans of Southern California. Here's a team 6-6, a team that has not shown a great deal of love for this city, and it's talking about Sacramento and Oakland in its future, and yet 80 to 85,000 here today to see them and root for them to get into the playoffs against a team best record in the AFC. The Broncos are tied at 3 as Treadwell spins it down to Stephon Adams. Adams at the 20 and the 21-yard line. Hit. We're liable to see a lot of the Chiefs and the Packers in the next few years. Those are two teams that are building. Bo Jackson tripped up as he crosses the 20-yard.
The hard way with all the promotion and fanfare that goes with that trophy now and that award. He just performed.
Second down and 10. Berline, lots of time. And he has a first down out at the 31-yard line to Mervyn.
When he put all the trophies together, everybody went right over that Heisman. That was the one they respected.
First down play, and it's Steve Smith up the middle. Greg Cragen, the nose tackle. So, not much there for Vincent Edward Jackson. From Bessem, triple left with Fernandez in motion. Oh my, did Berline get leveled by Simon Fletcher and Carl Mecklenburg?
Well, Mecklenburg matched up with Rory Graves on that right side defensively is tough because he's so strong and so quick coming off that side of the field that he's going to make a big difference. Get that push on the back side of Berline.
Oh.
That is something is hard to get up from.
That on the coach's list is a hurry. That sounds innocent enough. Jeff Gossett, a short kick to Natil at the 30. He's got room. But flags are down as Natil dropped at the 49. Denver starts from the 17. A play action pass with Humphrey throwing out of bounds. Mark Jackson over
Signs.
Draw play to Humphrey, who sprints out to the 30-yard line and a first down. He's had a good first half. Humphrey's up over half 100, I believe, or close to it. No, 42 yards now for Bob. Underneath, Sammy Winder, the veteran from Southern Mississippi. Steve Sewell is in there. So is the Raiders' Bob Golick. Golick, shoot third down now and closer to 2. Hit hard by Mike Harden, the former Bronco. A textbook tackle for Harden, but it is a first down. Denver out at their own 44-yard line. Back to goal to that. Elway on first down. This 3-3 tie underneath the Winder. Breaks a couple of tackles in Raider territory at the 48-yard line. Melvin Bratton, who carries the ball rarely. That's only his 16th carry of the year, but the big 225-pounder has a first down at the Raider 44-yard line before Golick can get him. The other thing that Jerry Robinson was saying was little things like having your name in summer camp on a chip.
Way of doing things, and they want that history and that symbolism as part of their organization.
And they have it with Art Shell. Meanwhile, Denver. The throw is incomplete, close to interference, but no flag as Robinson. It's Humphrey sprinting into the clear and close to a first down at the Raider 33 before Tom Benson, the former Patriot, can make the tackle.
Well, Eddie Anderson really had a shot at Humphrey, like unique. They had distinct styles and philosophies within their organizations. Dallas on one hand, the Raiders on the other.
On first down at the 33. The Broncos trying to take the lead before the intermission. The busy man is Humphrey again, and look at him fight all the way to the 22, and he has 11 more yards to give him 69 for this opening half, and he may be on his way to his best rushing day in his initial year in the league. He's closing in on 900 for the season. Humphrey
describes himself as a gliding runner. That's not gliding. You're going to get a lead play up inside with him just breaking full speed up inside with the quarterback handing off here. He's got an excellent block up front by his fullback. People turning people. There's the block on Benson. Now Humphrey just keeps that leg drive going. And he has excellent safeties tackling him. Good job.
2-minute timeout. And it's Humphrey again. And Humphrey to the 20-yard line and then rejected. Piloting the MetLife blimp for today's game is Captain Joe Whalen from Hot Springs, Arkansas. 194-foot-long MetLife blimp based in Kissimmee, Florida. And Kissimmee, you too.
Wonder how long it takes to fly it here from Florida. Must have breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever.
Had a chance to fly
or maybe they drop in on a motel or something. But, you know, Humphrey talks about himself as a Marcus Allen clone. He thoroughly respects Allen and his style and believes he would like to play the same kind of football.
Elway underneath, wide open is Natil, and he has a first down at the 8-yard line. And it's first and goal, Broncos in a 3-all tie. Humphrey, as they try to cross up the Raider defense scorebook. Here's a hit to Bratton, and Melvin Bratton fights into the end zone for a touchdown. His first rushing touchdown as a pro, and the celebration with Bobby Humphrey.
But Bratton was demonstrated there his power. Real power. He hasn't done much of it yet in the NFL, but tremendous power.
So the Broncos take the lead, and now Dan Reeves sends out the extra point unit to try to make it 10-3. And the congratulations to Bratton. He has a couple of touchdowns on receptions, but that's the first one running the ball, and he showed his power.
Well, they knew he had the potential. He had a knee injury coming out of the University of Miami, and they didn't know if he'd make it or not.
Mike Harden was one of the men trying to make the tackle, and he has not gotten up yet.
Well, we're going to see a pulling guard and a trap play that's going to come inside with Elway handing off. Now, the right guard, Waddell, does a fine job of turning Robinson in right at the bottom of your screen, right there. But look at the power. Right from the 3-yard line all the way in.
Just drove Eddie Anderson back, and then Harden got pinned underneath, and Harden leaves under his own power. Melvin Bratton, he was picked in the draft of a year ago by Miami, but the Dolphins could not sign him. He was recovering from a serious knee injury as a senior with the Hurricanes, and then Denver went after him, and it's been a good pick for him.
Often it takes 2 or 3 years to recover from some of those real severe injuries, but then you're a player, much like Kevin Fagan, who played at Miami, who's now with the 49ers.
Here's Treadwell to tack on the extra point. So timeout. The Raiders will have 37 seconds before the end of the half. Quite a drive by the Broncos, 82 yards, 54 the yards consumed on runs by Bobby Humphrey. And Melvin Bratton gets the icing, a 5-yard touchdown plunge. And it's 10-3 Denver as the AFC Western champions and the best record in the American Conference showing their medal today against a team that must win to stay in the playoff hunt. Here comes Vance Mueller. Plenty of speed, but he's caught from behind. Good play by Bruce Clark Jackson. Breaking a tackle. Well, he just shredded Steve Atwater as if the rookie was water. And Atwater is 220 pounds, and he just, when Atwater came up, I can't believe it. I didn't even slow him down.
Well, his pads are low and his knees are high. There isn't anything to grab.
And the Raiders are not going to grab at any wild chance. They're going to let the clock run out. And that's to the disappointment of this big crowd in Los Angeles. The end of the first half. A defensive half of football with the only touchdown drive, a long one engineered by John Elway using the talents of his rookie running back Bobby Humphrey. See him in Los Angeles, over 80,000. We open the second half. The Raiders kicking it off. Jager trailing 10-3. A high short kick on the run. Carrington takes it, and he's hit immediately at the 25-yard line. Darren Carrington
is there against a fine, solid, aggressive defense of the Raiders.
Mobley in motion as they come out with two tight ends and give to Humphrey. Nice bit of ad-libbing by Humphrey. There was nothing off tackle, so he cut it outside and gains around 7 before Terry Robinson and Lyndon King tackle him.
You know, Dick, as he runs, it is much reminiscent of Marcus Allen. It really is. He runs
to Marcus, and Marcus said, "I know who you are." 2nd and 4. Humphrey again. Ooh, you could hear the contact, and it sounded like a Howie Long tackle.
Broncos are just dissecting them. Just dissecting them.
3rd and 3. Elway underneath to Humphrey. He squirts out from a couple of tacklers and has a first tackle.
Other than that, he's been a great guy.
Elway, play action and going deep. And a flag down, but the catch by Vance Johnson on an offside call against his teammate Mobley earlier in the first half. Bobby Humphrey buried for a loss. They were waiting for him that time, and Greg Townsend from...
But now he's in shape.
On vacation, he fell in love with a special Jamaican roll, some pastry. He said he couldn't get enough of them.
Couldn't stay clear of him.
He was over 270. Elway into the flat to Humphrey, and they're going to call in the grasp, apparently.
Zone defense.
Elway caught by Long, and then punting for the first time in the game. And oh my, just gets it away. Partially blocked, I believe, and the Raiders will have it at the 43-yard line, and the crowd loves it. Penalties against the Broncos when they had the ball at midfield, plus a high snap and a short kick. And the Raiders have excellent field position. They start at the Denver 43, needing a touchdown to tie. 10 minutes left, third quarter. Burline has his hand hit by number 90, Ron Holmes. Is it a fumble? No, they rule. Last 6 games as he's taken over, beating out Andre Townsend for that right end job. Draw to Bo. And they're there to meet him at the 40-yard line.
Getting that field position, they just can't come away with 0.
Burline from the shotgun. Got running room, but Brooks gets him from behind and denies the first down at the 35. He's about 2.5 yards short. You can see there Burline, who has better speed than that, but has a bad knee, and he talked about that yesterday. He said, "I just can't move." Wide open is Steve Smith, and a first down at the 25. Bo for 2 or maybe 3. intercepted by Mecklenburg, almost as if he knew where Berline was going to throw. He was way pass.
They moved the other day. He serves a beautiful lunch, but he says what he wants to say. And one thing he did say is he really thinks this offensive line is one that will stay in place for some time.
3rd and long, and Berline throws incomplete to Mike Alexander. Longest of the year if he makes it, 46 yards. And he has got it. So Jeff Jager, the former Cleveland Brown, has 37 and 46-yard field goals today. They're all so important now. And for the Raiders, down 10-6, they kick off here in the 3rd. It's Ken Bell. Bell out to the 25-yard line. Let's look now. Draw play to Humphrey. Gets outside and then shows his power as he bowls out to the 33, a gain of 9.
There he sees a linebacker unblocked and skids to the outside, then up in between people. He's done it over and over. Those people on the edges of the Raider defense have to hold the line, hold their ground, and wait for him to come to him. Because about every other time, they'll come out their way.
He's 7 yards away from 900 on the year. And they're waiting for him this time, and Howie, he sleepwalks, so he has trouble finding roommates on the road. It's 3rd and inches. And Humphrey again. And it appears he got enough to the 30, managing a game. But it's no different in this sport. You have to be thinking ahead. Here goes Humphrey. Caught in the backfield. Guess who?
This is as good as he's ever played.
29 years of age, 5 times a Pro Bowler. 2nd and 11. Screen to Humphrey. Good blocking. And he has a first down out to the 47-yard line. Big Orson Mobley in motion. Elway to the sidelines for short yardage. And that ball got to Vance Johnson just in time before tearing. 2:40 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Denver 10, the Raiders 6. Elway scrambles and has a first down at the Raider 38-yard line.
With weights and even
downfield, almost intercepted, intended for Humphrey and Thomas. Hope you'll stay. Give you a little more information about that. Down the middle. Oh my, almost a one-handed catch by Clarence Kay.
bull rushing through people.
Last minute, 3rd quarter draw. And it's wide open for Humphrey. And does he take a lick from Eddie Anderson and Mike Harden? But he jumps up and he's close to another first down as they spot it right at the 22-yard line. And that's going to move Humphrey up over the 900 mark for the year. Let's just listen to the sound of the game.
Oh, I heard that. Well, the Raiders are jumping into an even defense. That means the center's uncovered. Golick moves over a guard.
Going to play run.
They're playing run right now. You see Golick backed off the center, and he's reading the guards in the center.
Humphrey already over 100 yards, but doesn't get anything there. Another play with that great tackle. 100 degrees warmer, accounting for chill factor. There's that shovel pass. I'd like to work that with Sammy Winder in the lineup. 4th quarter, the Broncos leading 10-6. But I don't think he made it. He's down to 30 yards. And a flag. And Treadwell, who was an academic All-America at Clemson University, drills it, and it's back to a 7-point game. midseason struggle back in the thick of things in Houston. The leader now in the Central. The kick comes down to Stephon Adams of the Raiders to the 20, 25. Good piece of running. And a good open field tackle by Randy Robbins just as Adams had extricated himself, and down goes a flag.
Anything they see along those lines, they call.
Kerry Porter, is that Bo Jackson? And Mecklenburg makes the tackle.
It's rather new, the play calling. I can't say that it's bad, but they certainly need things.
Ron Holmes makes it 7 sacks in 7 games as he shoots through untouched. Boy, what a pick. They got Holmes from Tampa Bay for a number 4. His favorite player was Leroy Selman, the great Buccaneer, and that was the kind of move that Selman used to show.
Holmes will be on our right here coming up the field. We can't quite see him in this framing, but he's up the field unblocked. No one blocked him, so he's naturally going to make a sack. There had to be a breakdown in their pass protection rules because he was just in a normal defensive end position. And most often the tackle in front of him will block him. No effort to block him that time.
So it's 3rd down and 20. Berline flushed out of the pocket.
He can't move to his left.
And Mecklenburg has the sack this time.
He can't move to his left with that knee. He can't get away from people.
Mecklenburg with 7.5 sacks now on the year, and Holmes is right behind.
Mecklenburg's running a line stunt up inside, being held pretty obviously. Now he just, in that relentless way he plays the game, just stays with the play.
So on 4th down and 30, Jeff Gossett will punt for the 3rd time. Vance Johnson back at the 33. Beautiful kick. Hanging up there to the 24. Mayor Tom Bradley's office in the center of your picture, the pointed building. My kids used to call that the Superman building. Downtown Los Angeles. What a day.
What a day here.
But not so hot for the Raiders at this point. They trail by 7, and here comes that man Humphrey. He's over 100 yards, and he's a mentality. Just you can see him how he gives with the punch, the tackling punch. Reacts Elway on a play action to Orson Mobley, who is Phoenix. Here it's Denver 13, the Raiders 6, 3rd and inches at the 40. Humphrey over the top for the 1st down at the 42, and that's another likeness to Marcus Allen.
Goal and talking with him before the game. 25 carries, 100 yards. He'll get more.
And gave a good outside move, cut back inside for about 5 yards. Dan Reeves, and part of the Tom
that have grown through so many years.
2nd down and 5. Humphrey again. He's got to be getting tired, and that'll make you more weary. 3rd down and 5. Flags down. Elway throws incomplete.
Done. I don't know if there'll be a team that can win in the last minute or two with Berline quarterbacking.
Fair catch at the 8-yard line. Chance to watch it out here in the morning in Los Angeles. Boy, what a fast-moving show full of information.
I think that Ohio football piece was just one of the best I've ever seen. Covered a lot of the folklore related to the game of football, especially, obviously, the state of Hawaii.
Berline up the middle.
If he didn't catch that ball, I can't believe it.
On 2nd and 10, this is Bo Jackson territory inside his own 10, but it's Berline throwing underneath to Steve Smith, who draws it. To Fernandez, and a 1st down. 3rd catch for Mervin Fernandez gives him 40 for the year, the leading receiver. And that's one deep down the middle, the tight end. He could go all the way. Touchdown, Raiders. And run to first-year tight end point to tie. It is 13-13. The Raiders even. Ken Bell at the 7. Flag down, and so is Bell at the 17. Isaiah Right now, we're at 13 all with 6:57 to go. Beautiful kick. Bell again. Oh, and he is rung up at the 20.
Porter just made that tackle. He made the tackle on the previous punt and on that kickoff. Kerry Porter, 31, Washington State, doing a great job on special teams.
Elway underneath. And it's Humphrey, who has been his all-purpose.
Feeling for Arshell and for how the Raiders are playing right now.
2nd and 4. Good protection for Elway. And is it complete? No, he jumped. Not this time. Flags are down. Complete to Natil, and he has a first down to the 38-yard line. And that's where Humphrey to the 41-yard line, and he's paying for the yards now.
In the fourth quarter, the offensive tackles tend to have an advantage over the pass rushers.
Elway, who grew up watching the Rams here in Los Angeles, played his high school ball over in the San Fernando Valley at Granada Hills. 2nd down and 7. 9-man front. Here comes Benson. Elway scrambling and throwing incomplete. And complete. What a catch by Michael Young. Young, one of the extra wide receivers who played here at UCLA, and he's come through with some big catches all year.
To Young. It comes right up into his pads right there. Now that's the difference between Elway and virtually every other man that's played the game.
Washington with good coverage. Young gets it anyway. First down at the 50. Underneath, Natil. Tied even at 13. Of course it is even if it's tied. But
here he is outside again.
Flags down and incomplete to Mark Jackson.
They're looking for the field goal, Dick. They're just going to get it down as far as they can and go for the long field goal. And
is prohibited. Well, next Sunday, we hope you'll join us. A shot in one studio and their heads in another, but 2nd down and 8.
They only need about 5 yards for a long field goal.
Elway under a blitz. He has 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Raiders.
Here's a screen to the outside.
Winder, but it was well read by Sky at the 10. In fact, counting today, he has 20 inside the 20.
Even when the Raiders have the ball now, Dick, they've got to play defensive football because naturally Denver will call timeouts and try to get a punt and get the ball back around the 50.
That one's going to go into the end zone, it appears.
Well, that helps.
So, and it's Bo. Stopped.
A fumble or a sack or anything like that can be devastating.
There's a man Dial down the middle, and he was up. Burline chased by Fletcher, and it is almost intercepted, and a flag goes down. And then it's a good kick.
Great kick.
Natil at the 29. 40, 50, could go all the way. Vance Mueller gets him down at the 34-yard line, and only the speed remaining. The draw to Humphrey. And he runs into a pie to win to stay in the serious playoff position.
Look for a run just to get the ball. No, they're going to throw the ball.
Elway to the sideline. Intercepted. Intercepted. And finally dragged down is Lionel Washington at the 45-yard line. Oh, my.
Be careful, Steve.
Throws long. Almost intercepted by Tyrone Brown. Shotgun. And Burline, nifty footwork to get free and throw long for Alexander. Incomplete. Oh, my. Is he in? catch. No catch. He was out of bounds when he came. And it is in the end zone for the touchback, but the time runs out, and we have overtime. So for the 5th time in the last 11 games, Denver and the Raiders go an extra rested Denver's chance to win it. Good kick. Bell on the sidelines at the 5. Ken Bell.
Well, Denver's really in the hole in an overtime situation.
From the 9-yard line, Elway goes to his tight end, Mobley. They've seen a dandy game dramatically. Downfield, it's complete to Mobley. And a first down. Elway now with some breathing room at the 35. Little dump off to Humphrey. No one near Humphrey. And he has another first down at the 40. It's Humphrey, and you saw his numbers. Tripped up by Howie Long. It's Humphrey, and you saw his numbers. Tripped up by Howie Long. Blitz. Picked up well. Elway. Oh, my. Out of the hands of Vance. And Horan sends a high short kick. To the 23, and you see Elway working on that elbow as he was hit on the blitz. Berline, plenty of time down the middle to Dial. Dial almost breaking free. Down. Now it's Bo's turn, and they're going for the ball. Berline to the tight end again, and Dial is to the 20.
The Raiders.
33-yard average for Dial on those 4 catches. Now it's Steve Smith